All right, Jeremy, let's pull some levers. So imagine you were tasked with the job of improving a cold outreach campaign, and you can only modify two things. What two levers would you pull in order to yield the biggest improvements in both reply rate as well as just flat out ROI from the campaign?
Yeah, seems
Ready?
like fun. Seems like fun. Let's do it.
Okay, so before we hit record, Jeremy and I put some time just considering what levers are actually worth considering. And we're going to rattle them off here so that we can kind of see what's on the table. All right, I'll
Good
read
idea.
mine, I'll read Jeremy's. So I've got list, personalization, offer, copy, channel, and then this like 6-1 testing slash optimization. Okay. Jeremy had a few of those on your list, right?
Yep, yeah, of course.
Okay, I'll just read the non-repeats. Um, you said source of leads, but that's probably list quality. Is that right?
Yeah, you could bundle them. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. You got volume, cadence. What's cadence? The
Cadence is
delay.
like how often you get follow-ups and stuff
Okay.
like that, right? So
Frequency,
it's like,
right?
yeah, frequency.
Okay, sweet. And then you've got this like vague one called strategy. Explain that to us real quick.
It's not vague. It basically
It's so
is.
vague. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's
How is it
not.
different than
It's
offer? Let's
different
say that.
angle. Oh, what different people, different like for example, instead of going straight to the end buyer, you will go to the
Yeah.
reseller that will then, so it's like
Got you.
changes everything, changes your copy, your
Love
offer, your
it.
like everything basically.
So I kind of see strategy as a combo of list and offer. And I'm okay with that being separate.
Um, well, at the end of the day, you only have your list and the things you're sending. So you could say that, but I think yeah, okay. We could limit it to that. I agree. But
Okay.
yeah, it'll be a bit more, to be
All right,
honest.
let's throw 10 minutes on the clock and then
All
we're going to
right.
get into our two levers here. I'm afraid, Jeremy, you already know what my first one is going to be. And I feel like I already know what the first one, yours, is going to be. It
Interesting.
Can we just call it? Is it list
For me? No,
for
for you
both of
it's
us?
list. Oh,
For
no, it's
both of
not. For
us.
me, it's still strategy. I'm sorry. Because if you're getting
But
crickets,
God,
if you're getting
but like, no,
crickets, you probably
you got
need
to give me
to.
half of it because strategy is got list embedded in it, is it not?
Of course. But it basically, okay, so let's put it this way. If you're really not getting, I mean, for me, the first level I will do is like, I will look at like, if we're not getting results, maybe we need to rethink the whole thing instead of trying to optimize each of those things, whether it's the list, the offer, the copy, whatever
Yeah.
it is. So that's my point of view. That will be why I will always put strategy first. Like whenever granted, I don't do as much consultation as you do, but whenever I do a consultation, I say like, well, hold on a second. Like, what's your strategy? Like, how are you approaching this thing? Like, what do you actually plan on doing? Who you want to do? Like, how do you play that in your head? And granted, it's a bit like fuzzy, but it basically is like, what's your approach, right?
Okay. So if we're selling bookkeeping services and they're like, oh, I'm selling to architects,
Right.
if you said, what's your approach? They may tell you, I'm reaching out to architects in this kind of level of company and I'm saying this kind of thing. Is that correct? Is that like encompassing the whole strategy? Or
That
did I miss something?
No, that will be one point. But then the offer needs to align as well with architects, like where you're getting things, where you're
Yeah.
getting leads will also align with architects. It could be Facebook groups specifically because architects are on Facebook groups. It could be like,
Right.
so different. And it will also maybe inform the channel as well as to how you actually contact them. Like how are they better, contacted? As it's on email, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. So there's a whole
Right.
thing behind it. Like basically, because I think the reason why I put it first is because I think very often people are just like following books without really knowing what they're doing. It's like, oh, I've been told I need to send 1,000 emails a day to architects and sell my service, and I'm not getting any results. It's like, well, that's probably why, you have to take one step back and then rethink the whole thing as
I
a whole.
gotcha.
That's why I say like
Okay.
this is probably the first lever I will play with in order to get you more results. If you're already getting good results, then that's a different thing. I will put a different level. But for you, I think it's going to be list, right? It's going to be like the quality of the list.
Yeah, and I went back and forth. I think in most cases, Jeremy, the list is to blame 8 out of 10 times for lack of results. You're probably sending too many people that are truly not qualified or hungry for the conversation you'd like to have with them. So I'm going list, sticking to the tried and true guns here. Remember the hamburger joint story
Yes.
where
Say it
the
again. It's
world's
so cool.
greatest ad man of all time, Gary Halbert. What single advantage would I want if I was to open a hamburger joint in the town where there's 5 other hamburger joints? Is it superior beef? Is it cheapest burger? Is it fastest service? Nope. It's a starving crowd. So the first lever I'm pulling is let's go look for a starving crowd. Um, in the architect's example, it may require finding a different vertical to go after that just
Yeah.
has more appetite. It may being, and I say this a lot in consoles, but like maybe break away from your vertical stronghold and instead look for other signals out there that would indicate they need you regardless of the fact that they're in the architecture industry for that
Yeah,
example.
maybe
Okay.
it's a wrong segmentation. Maybe the industry is
Yeah,
not the segmentation. Maybe it's like, size of the business or like location
that's
or
right.
whatever it is. Yes.
So, what's interesting, Jeremy, is like kind of at the midway point here.
Mm.
It's it's very clear that um, different campaigns are going to scream for different improvements louder,
You're right.
right?
Yeah, 100%.
Case in point, if you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, I'm sending 1,000 emails a day, or I'm making, X number of cold calls a day with little to no results to show for it. Um, it's it's clear that you're not having like an issue with like contacting enough people, right?
Yeah,
Jeremy, you got the
yeah,
index
exactly.
finger up.
I'm kind of close to that. I was like about like, can we at least just agree that volume is never a lever for getting more results? If you're,
It's
or very
definitely not.
rarely.
Yeah, I mean, if you find yourself like I ask this question a lot on not even consoles. This is generally like one of the first things I ask is like if you had 100 perfect buyers in a room and that room said go up there and pitch us something. If you only had like 2 people raise their hand, I'm really interested because you happen to be selling something like maybe life insurance that only comes up twice a lifetime to purchase. You're going to have a hard time with cold outreach, and you better have a list of people that just had a bunch of kids that are not insured that would help you, you know, have a stronger list. But my point is, you could probably look at your existing campaign and say like, oh wow, our list probably isn't great, or our strategy is taken from a book that was written 4 years ago, and we
Yeah.
need it right.
I
Cool.
would I would say, in the case of the insurance, I think it's pretty good because that's very timely. And so I would say if I look at the strategy, I would say like, is your strategy to close the sale or is your strategy to, create a lead and a relationship? Because if it is the
There
second
you
one,
go.
then maybe your approach will be different. It'd be like, hey, Jack recommending me, to connect with you, just want to know whatever. And then
Right.
you just like, start the ball rolling. You're probably not looking for an insurance right now, but, I still want to be like
Isn't that
around
right?
and whatever. That will be a different
Love
approach,
that.
and I think that will
A
get you
different
more
strategy.
results. Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
different strategy because you're not even optimizing for like the sales. You're optimizing for different things, like which is like creating your network. So it's completely
Or
different approach.
yeah, or you could even call it like your pipeline or top
Mm.
level, top of the funnel leads, right? Okay. We got 3 minutes on the clock, Jeremy. Let's get into our second one. Spill the second lever that you would pull after strategy.
I
Yeah, you
wanted
gotta
you to
go.
do it to keep like to get a bit of
All
time
right,
and
fine. I'm
really
gonna do it.
think.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay, good.
I'm pulling offer. So once
Oh,
the list
yeah.
is improved, give me a better offer. I think that's gonna trump switching channels, adding more personalization. Um, it's quasi testing and optimization. Like testing a new offer, but really, like that's a lot more important than other levels. Like I'm seeing the head nod. I think that's not surprising. We're in
No,
line.
it was also mine. Like I was hesitating between list quality and the offer.
Yeah.
I think both needs to be good. You can't really have one without having the other one. Like,
Isn't that right?
but I
Isn't that
thought like the
right?
strategy kind of like get you in the right direction of talking to the right people. So the offer needs to be definitely, if you're
Yeah.
already talking to the right people or the people you should be talking to, then either your quality, well, your quality is not good, but if you're talking to the people that you should be talking, then in this case, it's
Yeah.
definitely the offer, you're right. So I
You know
think we're
what's a
on
runner up in
alignment
my
here.
book, Jeremy?
Mm.
What's like a
Tell me.
third runner up is the pain point you drop into the message. I think that would be the third lever if I got one.
Can you give
I'd
us some
probably want
example?
to. So if you're reaching out to architects selling, what did I say, bookkeeping
Yeah.
services, um, I'm trying not to spill too much because I did pick up like a really good
You can take
thing
another
on a
example. It's fine.
not too no, it's okay, don't worry about it, but like let's take bookkeeping because it was in a different vertical anyways. um let's imagine like most accountants, sorry, most what's the word, architects talking about bookkeeping won't get their blood moving. Like there's a million other things on their plate. Like frankly, that's not really it.
Yep.
But
Yep.
but
Not
let's
just architects.
imagine there's a certain like auditing formality that happens once a year for architects. And if their
It's a massive pain. I get
financials are
it.
not in order, then they get thrown in architect jail or fined a bunch of money or whatever it is. Like
More hassle,
that's a
basically.
sharper pain point. So watch
Right.
like pain point one that's very weak is like, hey, wouldn't it be nice to have some help with your books? That's going to get ignored 10 out of 10 times. But if you said, John, I understand that the International Architecture Society is auditing in February. And if your books aren't, properly done, I understand there can be quite heavy fines. There you go. And whatever you follow that with, you've got their attention at the very least.
Right. That makes sense. Okay.
You got a third? What's your runner up?
Oh, um, I am
List,
okay.
personalization, offer, copy, channel, testing, leads. What?
Let's put it as a joker. I think it would be channel.
Okay. I
And
like that.
like, how many people are trying to, bang their head against like keeping on using email for the sake of using email or keeping on using LinkedIn for the sake of using LinkedIn? Like, hell, some people are on LinkedIn, but they're not on LinkedIn. You know what I mean? Their profile is there, but they never check LinkedIn. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, you're going to have zero chance to reach out to them. And,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're reaching down, like if the guy is posting like, 10 posts on Facebook, every day or every week, well, that's probably the best place
Right.
to reach out to that person. I don't know.
Isn't that true? I mean, I've even heard, so the joke is like if you send a message through WhatsApp, your reply rate will be your email open rate on a good day, but like 9 out of 10 of them will be like, how dare you send me a message on WhatsApp?
I didn't say try
But
every
yeah.
channels, but
Yeah, yeah. I love that. I love that. Yeah, go where your
yeah.
prospects are active. I think that's a very good adage. Fun cast, Jeremy. I
All right.
think
Yeah.
we covered strategy. I I'm kind of like, okay, this is something that is almost like a cheater. Like, of course,
Call
strategy
it
trumps.
angle if you want, like, but still cheating. But yeah.
No, I do like it, and I can't
Okay.
argue. And I'm glad that we didn't have the same choices across the board. So fun cast, man. Thank you.
Oh, you forgot.
Check out quickmail.com for the right kind of platform to get your messages sent out, and check out salesbread.com if you want to lead a day and don't want to do all the hard stuff.
There you go.
That'll be
Thanks,
it. All
Jack.
right, Jeremy. Fun
Bye.
session. See ya.